As crazy as it is, MCU's Phase 3 is coming to an end, and it's about time for the studio to reveal its upcoming projects. If you're a hyper-energetic, socially active and successful loser who hasn't spent 45 hours in total watching all 21 MCU movies, you may come across a spoiler or two, but don't worry, I left Avengers Endgame completely off the radar. Hi true believers, I'm Peter Cribley, and today I'll be reviewing the upcoming MCU movies here on Awesome Movies. Even if you're not a member of our geeky family, I feel obliged to explain some of the key moments in these phases of which you keep hearing so much about. Basically, the phases of the MCU represent the storyline of any book. An intro or backstory, rising action or crisis, a massive climax, and denouement. Despite the common misconception that Avengers Endgame is not the end game per se, Feige says that Spider-Man Far From Home will be the last segment of Phase 3. I'm pretty sure that after the final Avengers film, half of the cast may be replaced and the other half will evolve and change their characters. That's how Marvel are leading us into Phase 4, the denouement, the part of the story where the characters' lives have to change. Can you think of a better way to introduce new heroes and villains to the MCU? The major difference in the new phase begins with characters having a new way into the cinematic universe. So let's have a look at the new Guardians of the Galaxy-style superhero group, the Eternals. As Kevin Feige said, Eternals are one group, but we like the idea of introducing an ensemble, doing an ensemble movie right from the start, as opposed to building up as we did with the first Avengers. According to reports, the Eternals will be directed by Chloe Zhao, the director of The Rider, and they say that Angelina Jolie is in talks to star as Cersei. What's quite ironic about Angelina Jolie playing another Cersei is that she's very close to her brother in real life too. Well, Marvel has over 7,000 comic book characters, so this naturally poses the question, why for Stan Lee's sake did they choose to go with the Eternals? Well, here's a little clue. You've already seen someone from the Eternals racing across your screen in the past. The Eternals were created by cosmic gods known as the Celestials through experiments on early proto-humans, but they eventually split into two races, the more peaceful Eternals and the more wicked Deviants. The two races are trapped in a never-ending war, so that's probably going to be the main conflict we'll see on the screen. By the way, we've seen a bit of the same standoff between the Kree and the Skrulls in Captain Marvel. So when the warlike group led by Uranos was defeated for a while, they had to settle down on Saturn's moon, Titan. And that's exactly where Thanos comes from, making it pretty clear why the MCU decided to go with the Eternals next. In the comics, the Eternals also paired up with the Avengers on several occasions, so there might be a chance we'll see them collaborate to fight one more supervillain in the future, as the heroes from the Eternals could replace the retiring Chris Evans and Robert Downey Jr. So for the upcoming movie, we can expect to see Makkari, Ikaris, Ajak, and Cersei. Cersei can manipulate objects on the atomic level and will potentially be played by Angelina Jolie. But to quote Captain America, some people move on, but not us. So we're not just waiting to see some new characters to surface, but for some old ones to come back. You know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the sequels for Doctor Strange and Black Panther. Even though Doctor Strange is sort of dead right now, well, you know, I don't want to ruin Endgame for some of you, but we know he'll return because the second movie's been confirmed. Moreover, we even know who the main villain will be. If you've forgotten, Mordo, one of the top students of the Ancient One, suddenly turned out to be a betrayer in the post-credit scene. But the writer C.R. Cargoyle stated that Mordo will be back for the sequel, though he's not going to be the main villain. So both him and the director, Scott Derrickson, agreed that the leading anti-hero role should go to the Nightmare, the ruler of the dream realm and dream dimension. I'm having strange flashbacks to Doctor Strange tormenting Dormammu, and I feel compelled to tell you that my bargain is for the movie to come out in 2020.
Dormammu, I've come to bargain.
The next groundbreaking MCU project coming to the big screen is Black Panther. At the end of the first movie, T'Challa revealed Wakanda's true nature to the world. So there's no way this coming out won't have an impact on the rest of the world, not to mention Wakanda itself. Remember that Killmonger wanted to use Wakanda's technological might to destroy the world. So I'm pretty sure there are other badass douchebags who'll be more than thrilled to use this advanced technology in vibranium. Black Panther's post-credit scenes didn't set up villains for sequels, but from the comics we know there's Achebe, who sold his soul to the devil, and we know that in the Secret Invasion storyline, the Skrulls attempt to take over Wakanda as part of their attempt to subdue the planet Earth. Well, in the on-screen adaptation of Captain Marvel, the Skrulls are the good guys, so it's not that likely we'll see them trying to take over Wakanda. On the other hand, there's a theory that Ultron might stroll back onto our screens, potentially to the landlocked kingdom. In Spider-Man, they showed Ultron's head in the backpack Peter Parker had from Toomes. There's a good chance they didn't just have Ultron's head, but also the rest of his body. And according to Stark in the Age of Ultron, if a single piece of Ultron's technology remained after the Battle of Sokovia, it can be resurrected and evolve with new, devastating powers. So it stands to reason that he'd choose to come back to the most technologically developed place on Earth, Wakanda, to finish his plan. But I really hope the MCU will come up with a fresh villain. There's a great range to choose from, right? The studio faces one more challenging task as they try to replicate the revolutionary nature of Black Panther, but this time with an Asian superhero, Shang-Chi. The studio has already paired up with Chinese-American writer Dave Callaham, who previously worked on the Godzilla remake in 2014, and they're now looking at an Asian director and eventually cast. Shang-Chi is a master of numerous armed and unarmed martial arts. He also has the ability to duplicate himself during a battle. Even though he's a master of Kung Fu, his visual appearance was modeled after that of Bruce Lee. Shang-Chi is the son of a powerful criminal mastermind, but he had no idea about it. His first mission was to assassinate an enemy of his father, but he only found out the truth afterwards. Shang-Chi later confronted his father and indirectly contributed to his death. It's highly possible that the MCU is going to bring up the story, but I'm sure it's not going to be the main storyline. There was a lot of backlash on the studio for whitewashing Iron Fist in the TV series and the Ancient One in Doctor Strange. So even Fahey admits it'll be a challenging task to bring Chinese and Asian American culture together smoothly. A more mysterious project that we know less about is Black Widow. Yes! Oh, I'm sorry. So, yes, the movie has finally been given the green light to go ahead. We've been waiting for it since her first appearance in Iron Man 2. Variety reported that Rachel Weisz, just off her Oscar nomination for The Favourite, may join Scarlett Johansson for the upcoming standalone movie. Her role has yet to be specified, nor do we know anything about the events in the movie that will tell the as-yet untold story of Natasha Romanoff. As for villains, Black Widow also has a great range of both male and female villains to choose from, including Sophia, a Russian assassin who admired Natasha so much he wanted to kill her and take on her mantle, or Yelena Belova, her Academy rival, the Iron Maiden, or even Bullseye. I'm very much expecting to see an appearance by Alexei Shostakovich, Natasha's ex-husband. All I can say is Black Widow has an incredible number of stories with which to surprise us. And last but not least, let's talk about Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. We already know that James Gunn is back at the helm of the Guardians of the Galaxy. In January 2019, Fahey confirmed that the movie would happen, but said, when, where, how? For a later time. And again, I don't want to spoil Endgame by telling you who from the cast is coming back, but Gunn himself had a seemingly already confirmed that Mantis will survive and be back for Guardians 3. Speaking of the plot, Gunn indicated that it's going to be an epic conclusion and that he's planting the seeds that will lead to the next decade. If it's true, then we'll probably see the promised horrible origin of Rocket Raccoon. It's not so long ago that I saw Gunn's horrifying trailer for his new film Brightburn, and I'm sure we can all remember his super shenanigans, so I'm sure we can expect some equally crazy stuff in this epic conclusion to the Guardians saga. As for the X-Men, it's been quiet for a while. There's no info indicating that there'll be any major projects coming, so maybe we'll get some more gossip somewhere in between the other MCU projects. So, what new film are you most thrilled to see coming out in the next 2 or 3 years? Let me know all your thoughts about possible plot twists and new villains you'd like to see on screen. Thanks for watching.